Hey everybody, welcome to Fantasy R&R. This is your host Ryan, and this is Wildcard Weekend COVID edition.
This is Fantasy with Rob and Ryan, Fantasy R&R.
I hope everybody had a great end to their fantasy football leagues this year. Good news is I won 2 Yahoo chips this season. Bad news is I lost to my own girlfriend in my own ESPN Dynasty League, and I tested positive for COVID this week. Pretty bad for a little while, but now that I'm getting better and I'm getting my voice back and recovering, I'm going to knock out a quick Vegas point spread and money line overview of the 2022 Wildcard Weekend and make my and Rob's picks for each team going forward. Now, me and Rob do participate in a website software called The Second Season, which is a Dream Team elimination format roster in which you can select any players from any teams to accrue points over the course of the postseason in order to outscore all of your opponent's rosters. You get to select 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 kicker, and 1 defense, but it can actually be tricky to decide on who you want, seeing as, for example, 2 NFC quarterbacks will result in the guaranteed elimination of at least one of your QBs by the time the Super Bowl happens. You've got a problem right there. You could also, for example, select all of the Bills players thinking that they'll make it to the Super Bowl, but if the Patriots upset them, you lose all of your rosters in 1 week. And you got to think of it this way. You might have the entire Bills roster. Someone else takes all of the Bills except one player, Davante Adams, on the Packers. Davante Adams has a huge week, even if the Packers get eliminated. That point can outscore someone like Emmanuel Sanders on your team. And you could also decide to maybe take a lot of AFC and NFC players from the top 2 seeds, but then you miss out on 1 week's worth of points due to the playoff bye. All of our playoff predictions coming forward in this episode will be based on players we're selecting for our teams, and a huge shout out to thesecondseason.com for extending the fun of fantasy football throughout the playoffs. Let's get started with the point spreads, money lines, and my and Rob's picks.
Raiders at Bengals.
So the spread on this one, the Bengals must win by 6 points or more to cover the spread. It's going to be a plus 5.5, negative 5.5. Right now the team to win, they believe, is the Bengals, so a bet of $100 would win $210 if the Raiders win. A bet of $250 would win $100 if the Bengals win, so obviously we got Raiders at plus 210, Bengals at negative 250. Over-under on this one, which is the combined final score of both teams, set at 49. So with that being said, some of us are going to follow those picks all the time. Some of us aren't. Me and Rob aren't really concerned about what those Vegas, predictions are going to be. Right now, I'm taking the Bengals. I think Burrow is going to throw 3 TDs in this game, if that's something you want to bet on in a parlay, against the Raiders. The Raiders have had a couple of close calls with the Chargers and the Cowboys winning by field goals in overtime this year. I do think that they're going to struggle with the Bengals, who've been hot on offense. And Rob is going to be taking the Raiders to win with a walk-off field goal. I think that's gutsy, seeing as how, me personally, if Mixon is healthy, the Bengals have the stronger offense. Derek Carr, I just don't think he's going to get it done through the air, but that's what we got. I'm picking the Bengals. Rob is picking the Raiders.
Patriots at Bills.
All right, spread on this one. Plus 4.0, negative 4.0. Obviously, this is one that's going to be in favor of the Bills. So we got Patriots at plus 4.0, Bills negative 4.0. Bills must win by more than 4 points to cover the spread here, obviously. The team to win is going to be the Bills. So a bet of $100 is going to get you $170 if the Patriots win. A bet of $200 is only going to yield $100 if the Bills win. So we got the Patriots at plus 170, Bills at negative 200, with the over-under being set at 44.5. So what we're seeing here is probably a blowout by the Bills. Me personally, I think the Bills are winning. I actually picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. I think Josh Allen is going to look a little shaky against Belichick, and he's going to have kind of a shaky start to the postseason. But all in all, I don't think that the Patriots have enough going on their roster to prevent the Bills from winning. The Bills have had some bad games this year, but I do think that they're getting back on track. Rob, as well, is taking the Bills. He thinks they want revenge on the Patriots here, and they're going to win big. So we are both taking the Bills on this one.
Eagles at Buccaneers.
All right, spread is 8.5 in this one. Buccaneers must win by 9 points or more to cover the spread. We got the odds set at plus 310 and negative 400. Obviously, negative 400 on the Bucs. Bet of $100 is going to win you $310 if the Eagles win. A bet of $400 is only going to yield $100 if the Bucs win. Over-under on this one is set at 46. Me personally, I think that's pretty high, to be quite honest. I don't think that the Buccaneers are going to need to go that hard. I also don't think the Eagles have a chance. So, I mean, with that kind of over-under, I'm assuming, Buccaneers get like 35-10 here, and, I'd probably be betting the under on that one. So, my personal prediction is the Buccaneers, again, at the beginning of the season. Last year, I thought the Bucs were going at least 10-6. They go 11-5. I picked them all throughout the playoffs for every game. A lot of people didn't even think they'd get past Washington that first week for some reason, but I'm doing that again here. I do think it's going to be a Bills-Bucs Super Bowl. Taking a lot of those players in my second season roster, so I'm going to say the Bucs. Jalen Hurts is going to leave the NFL world with the most doubt of his entire season after this one, unfortunately. But honestly, in my mind, it's expected. I called it on a podcast a long time ago before the season even started. Jalen Hurts was going to be a breakout fantasy star, maybe even potentially a breakout star in the NFL. It's looking more like he's going to be good for fantasy purposes, and I don't think he has any chance of getting past the Bucs defense in this one the way he's been playing the second half of the season. Rob is also taking the Bucs with an absolute blowout of the Eagles, and I agree. Again, I think maybe that over-under is a little generous at 46. I would be going under, maybe expect the Buccaneers to put up 35 points to the Eagles 10.
49ers at Cowboys.
All right, spread on this one is actually pretty interesting. I think I agree with it. Set at 3. Cowboys must win by more than 3 points to cover the spread. Right now, team to win is obviously the Cowboys. I don't think anyone's really surprised, but this one could be pretty close. We're going to be at plus 135 for the 49ers, negative 160 for the Cowboys. Bet of $100 is going to win you $135 if the 49ers win. Bet of 161 yields 100 if the Cowboys win. This one's on shaky ground. I'd actually, consider betting on the 49ers. Now, over-under on this one is set at 50.5. I also think that's fucking crazy, personally. I mean, the Cowboys have put up some big games, but against terrible teams. It's been the Eagles with their second and third stringers, the Falcons, the Washington Redskins, who were absolutely abysmal, maybe last place by the end of the season through air defense. So, it's all going to depend on if Dak Prescott's on fire and Kellen Moore is doing his thing on offensive coordination. The Cowboys, for me, I am going to take them, but I am saying that, I think the 49ers could take this, but I'm going to go Cowboys just because I believe, 9 times out of 10 this game happens. Cowboys are going to eke it out in a tough game. They have been up and down all season in certain formats, so I really just think they're going to win by 1 score here. Rob is taking the 49ers with the upset. He thinks it's going to go down to the wire and will be one of the better games of the weekend.
Steelers at Chiefs.
Welcome to Ben Roethlisberger's retirement party, hosted by the Kansas City Chiefs, as they say in the ongoing meme right now. All right, spread on this one is 12.5 points. Chiefs got to win by 13 or more points to cover this spread. Team to win is obviously the Chiefs here, and big. Chiefs are set at a negative 833. Steelers at plus 600. A bet of $100 would win $600 if the Steelers win. A bet of $833 would win $100 if the Chiefs win. I don't think that this one's worth betting on. I can't see the Steelers offense, especially with that line, doing anything to the Chiefs. And the Chiefs defense, which started off terrible, looked like they were going to be historically bad on the season. They've kind of turned things around as of late, and they've been a pretty sneaky team, getting a lot of touchdowns on defense, so they don't even need their offense to put up all the points anymore. Bet of 133 yielding you $100 is, that's kind of pointless. I don't think you bother betting on this game at all. I just do think that the Chiefs win. Over-under on this one is set at 46. I kind of like that a little bit more, mostly because I could totally see this one going down to maybe a 35-21 with Roethlisberger getting most of his points late in garbage time, actually. I'm taking the Chiefs on this one. Roethlisberger just throws way too many picks lately. I don't think, at his age, he's physically capable of being mobile. Not that he ever was in the first place, but he's having a harder time avoiding sacks or staying upright. He's getting the ball batted out of the air a whole lot of times, and I just don't think that he's going to be ready to put up the numbers that he needs to. It's going to depend a lot on the health of Deontay Johnson. Chase Claypool's been kind of underwhelming. Najee Harris, although he looks good, that offensive line is not doing him any favors for his YPC. Freiermuth, great tight end. I think he'll grow. He's making some drops, and he's running bad routes lately. They're even going with Zach Gentry on a number of snaps. I just don't think they have the offensive firepower to pull this game off. It is worth noting that I have called some upsets in the past. Last year, I thought the Browns were going to take out the Steelers when no one else did. I would love to be that bold with this game. I just don't think it's going to happen, so I'm going with the Chiefs. Rob is also going with the Chiefs on this one. The offense is just too much for the Steelers' D to take. I mean, it's just we don't think we're going to even need Tyreek Hill for this game. Darrell Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're both a little injured, but they're coming back for this game. That's what all the reports say. So if they've got Kelsey, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, who's looking great, they've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams in the back. Patrick Mahomes, although struggling this season compared to other seasons, he is seasoned. He's been here before, and I think he's going to be able to get the job done. Rob feels the same way. So we're going with the Chiefs on this one.
Cardinals at Rams.
All right, this may be the only one where we are, unanimously taking the underdog here. I do think this one is worth gambling on. Point spread set at 4. Rams got to win by more than 4 points to cover the spread. Team to win right now is the Rams. Bet of $100. It's going to yield $170 if the Cardinals win. Bet of $200 would win you $100 if the Rams win. So we got Cardinals set at plus 170. We got the Rams set at negative 200. Over-under on this one's 49.5. I could totally see that happening with these two high-powered offenses. Stafford is kind of looking good, kind of looking bad sometimes during the season. Early on, thought it could be an MVP candidate. We thought the same for Kyler before he got hurt. They both have, great offenses, high-powered offenses, and Kyler's definitely more mobile than Stafford, so Kyler can do some stuff with his legs that Stafford can't, even though Stafford has the better receiving core right now with guys like Higbee and Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr. But listen, I'm taking the Cardinals on this one to pull the upset. Stafford has no playoff wins. I mean, albeit with, pretty run-of-the-mill Lions team, but that Lions team was the best it ever was when Caldwell and Stafford were together. And the Cardinals D, although looking shaky as of late, they're going to be fresh and I think rejuvenated. And they're going to make some adjustments to get deeper into the playoffs. I think they're going to try and find a way to just nullify Cooper Kupp. And then we're going to see, the Rams struggling to get their run game going with what I don't think is an all that impressive Sony Michel or Darrell Henderson. So they're really going to be relying on Beckham on the outside and Tyler Higbee running those slot routes at tight end. I just think that, the Cardinals really could pull this off with Connor adding to the run game for Kyler Murray. Rob is also going to take the Cardinals. He thinks it's going to be a late win after a close game, but the Cardinals are going to pull ahead by 10 and take the Rams out round 1 of the playoffs. And that's going to do it for our fantasy football podcast for Wildcard Weekend COVID edition. Yes, Rob was not here this time. He has a bit of an issue with his laptop, and it looks like his phone browser's not allowing him to hook up on our normal audio recording software. So what we're going to do is just kind of play it by ear for a little bit. Hopefully he gets that in order. For now, I will be your annoying-ass host. Once again, this is Ryan with Fantasy R&R. We'll see you next time.